Welcome back to the CBA Digital Network's edition of First Take. My name is Nicholas Ferrari, and I'm here with Aidan McMenemy and Frank Gio. So, through week 2 of the NFL season, there's been a lot of surprises. I mean, we saw the Ravens get upset by the Raiders this past week. A couple nights ago, Eagles and Falcons. It's just a lot of shocks this season. So, I want to start this off by asking, as we are through 2 weeks of football, what performances have surprised us and what teams are playing better or worse than expected? Let's start with you, Aidan.
So, one of the bigger wins over this week 2 week was the Saints over the Cowboys, the blowout with Alvin Kamara scoring 4 touchdowns, and then Derek Carr just slinging the ball down the field. Rashid Shaheed just throwing the ball, getting ready for the playoffs.
I think the team that surprised me the most is the Minnesota Vikings. Upsetting the Niners. They've been very good at home against the Niners since 1992. The Niners haven't beat them, but so it was kind of not much of a surprise. But the Vikings, very impressive. Obviously, the Giants, not much of a challenge week 1, but
and I know that probably stung for you as a Niners fan.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, the Vikings surprised me a ton. They beat my Giants week 1 as well. Giants aren't great this year, but yeah, Sam Darnold had some sort of resurgence. I don't know where it really came from. And then, as you said, the Saints, they've looked really good, and it's kind of shocking. And then another team I want to quickly talk about, the Eagles. There's a lot of uncertainty there. I mean, we saw against the Falcons.
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts looked a little uncertain. Their team looks a little out of sorts. They're, I think, 3-7 in their last 10 games going back to last season. So there's a lot of questions there for that team. Moving on, I want to go to our way too early NFL, early playoff predictions. Starting, what are we going to do as our number 1 clear-cut pick?
So, I feel like Chiefs. The Chiefs. Obviously, it's an obvious pick, but gotta be the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I think for me, in all of football, out of all the teams that are the strongest, the Chiefs just constantly show up. And, despite guys like Travis Kelce not really being there this season, you got guys like Rashee Rice stepping up, new guys, Xavier Worthy. Fortunately, Pacheco just got injured, but we're going to see a new guy, Carson Steele. I think the Chiefs may sign Kareem Hunt, and then their defense is just so strong. So I just don't see them missing out on the playoffs. I probably think they'll get number 1 seed and a bye throughout the playoffs.
Yeah. So the team that I think is a lock, I'm trying to go with a team that's maybe not the most obvious, but I'm feeling confident in the Buccaneers. I think, taking care of the Commanders at home handily, then going on the road to play the Lions, taking care of business there too. Baker Mayfield, he's like a whole new quarterback since coming to the Buccaneers. I bet the Browns definitely wish they still had him because the Deshaun Watson thing has not gone to plan at all.
No.
But especially Chris Godwin looking really good, 200 yards over the first 2 games. Mike Evans, one of the most consistent receivers over the past decade. So I think the Buccaneers.
You really have the Bucs over the Saints when the Saints have looked so good. You think the Bucs when you think the Bucs and Saints match up, you think the Bucs will win that matchup?
I think the Bucs are the more consistent team. If we're looking for a lock to make the playoffs, I think the Bucs, they've won the division 3 years in a row. I think the Bucs have
they did look pretty good against the Lions. And Mayfield is playing out of his mind. I'm just waiting for him to kind of do his little cycle and just kind of slowly
go downhill,
decline. Yeah. But we'll see what happens. And then our sneaky wild card pick this year.
So that's a tough question. Honestly, you can go a lot of routes here. You can go the Falcons, where they had a big upset over the Eagles. You can go the Saints. You can go really different ways, but I feel like my sneaky wild card will have to be the Falcons.
The Falcons, why do you think of that?
So, brought in Kirk Cousins, veteran quarterback. You got Kyle Pitts. You got Bijan.
Drake London,
there you go. And then you got defense. You got Jesse Bates. You got a bunch of people on defense helping out. Overall, you beat one of the stronger teams in the NFL week 2. I think that's gonna be a lock for
Yeah, I mean,
wild card.
I do like the Falcons as a sneaky pick. I mean, I just feel like they're going to be on the line. I feel like they have so much potential as a team. It's just I don't really love their coaching. Yeah, but the Falcons are very good team, but it's just that coaching is just definitely a little uncertain for me, and that's why I think they're gonna maybe make a sneaky wildcard pick. Frank, who do you got?
So this is going to come as a surprise to many, but I think the Cardinals have a big upside here. I like the rebuild they're kind of doing here. I think Kyler Murray is an amazing athlete, top 10 pick in the MLB and NFL. Marvin Harrison Jr. coming on week 2 in the early first quarter. I had him in fantasy, put up like 30 points for me in 5 minutes. So that was big. Then Trey McBride, James Conner leading the rushing. Buda Baker on the defensive side. I mean, the Cardinals, that was a team that started off 7-0, 8-0 like a year or two ago too. So
I mean, that's my pick, the Cardinals. I loved them going into the season. Prior to the season starting, everyone thought I was crazy saying the Cardinals were going to be good, but I see so much with Kyler Murray. I feel like that offense is finally going to be able to come alive, and I think they finally have a good coaching staff underneath them to get this team going, and I definitely could see. I honestly think they have, crazy enough as it may sound, I think they may have a shot to win the division. I know they're 1-1 right now, but their offenses look so good. I mean, I have Kyler Murray on my team, and he's playing amazing. Marvin Harrison last week looked great, and James Conner is unstoppable. He's like a trained one-man wrecking crew.
Yeah.
So, and of course their defense is pretty solid as well. So that's my sneaky wild card pick. And final question of this first take: what team will unexpectedly miss out on the playoffs?
I got a feeling that the Rams are going to miss out. So they've been dealing with injuries week 1 and week 2. Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua. They lost Aaron Donald. They lost Aaron Donald last season to retirement. They're not the same team that they were. They're old. They need to get a little bit younger. Puka Nacua was the right direction, but him being hurt is a hindering to the team. And I think they just need to go in a different direction, get younger next season, and then they'll be back.
Yeah, I mean, their kind of offense right now is shot. They're now going to be relying on guys like Tutu Atwell and Demarcus Robinson, who aren't really ideal wide receiver ones when you have Kupp and Puka Nacua. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that happening, especially with the Cardinals in their division after getting blown out last week.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that Rams pick there because as they're in our division, I feel like the Rams are almost like a hospital right now with all those injuries. But my pick is going to be the Miami Dolphins, also another team, obviously with a lot of uncertainty. Obviously Tua, the main headline there, but unrelated to the Tua thing, I think. Overall, the Dolphins as a team, I've been kind of unimpressed with them. I feel like they get all this hype kind of year after year, and I feel like they have some flashy players. Like they obviously have the Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, HM, but I feel like they're not able to put it together ever.
Yeah.
They haven't had one good playoff run over the last 4 or 5 years, and now with the Tua thing, I just don't see any hope for them with this stacked up division.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely. I wasn't even thinking about the Dolphins, but yeah, you got a good point there. I mean, they have all these flashy guys, but Tua, how long is he going to be out for? Who's going to come in at the helm for them? Yeah. And we have all these guys like Waddle and Hill, flashy guys, but let's actually win a game. And I thought Mike McDaniels was a great coach, but I feel like he's a little uncertain right now. Now my pick, this is going to sound a little crazy, but I have the Eagles missing out on the playoffs this year.
Ooh, I feel.
Yeah, I after watching that game against the Falcons, and even week 1 against the Packers, I don't think they looked that great. Outside of Saquon Barkley just destroying the team, I'm a little salty about that as a Giants fan. I don't think their team looks that great. I think their defense is getting to be proof faulty. Jalen Hurts has a ton of time in the pocket, but he's not going anywhere with the ball. I mean, he may rush the ball around a couple times, but with all this talent he has around him, this team should be playing so much better. I mean, losing to the Falcons and almost losing to the Packers should just be what are we doing? And as I said earlier, 3-7 in the past 10. ended last year just on a downfall and ended up losing early in the playoffs as well. And I kind of thought that was going to continue into this year, and so far, I kind of think it has.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I agree.
yeah. So overall, exciting first 2 weeks. A lot of stuff to happen next. I'm excited for the rest of the season. I hope that we're somewhat close on our predictions. Aiden, Frank,
Yep.
it was fun. That is all for now. We will see you next time.